And I'm Ben.
And we'll be playing the Mendelssohn Piano Trio, Opus 49.
So when Mendelssohn composed this, first of all, Mendelssohn was a composer from early Romantic period. So this is when like he started implementing some of the Romantic things, and as he has some classical elements of the piece in it.
He was considered a genius, but at the same time, some people didn't take a liking to Mendelssohn because they thought he wasn't a very emotional person in terms of his music, and that he only used his talent to get a lot of money from his compositions.
This was the first piece really that proved that wrong, and it was actually being revised by Schubert at this point. So he sent the first draft in, and Schubert said, no, this piano piece isn't nearly difficult enough, it's not good enough, do it again. And he revised it and sent a second version in, which is what poor Daniel has now. And it's like, yes, now you were the most out of your time, this is what I wanted to hear. And it's in sonata allegro form, so I introduce it with our first theme, theme A in D minor, and then we go and I introduce the second theme again in A major, we have the recapitulation, and then we bring it back to D minor. Cool. All right. You enjoy.
coughing. You having a cough attack? Okay. How did you guys pick this piece? You picked it? Had you heard it before? Heard friends play it, or?
Yeah, I heard it a long time ago and I really liked it.
Have you played other pieces by Mendelssohn that you really like?
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah. Okay, like the concerto and stuff like that.
Played
Okay, what else have you played?
Like a lot of quartets.
Quartets and stuff.
And
And she talked you guys into it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Did it take a lot of convincing?
No.
It's
She just said you wanted to play piano.
really very, very beautiful. And you guys you do a really lovely job with it. So I just thought we could maybe go back to the beginning and kind of work some things. In general, the things I'm noticing are that I want you to pay a little more attention to long lines that cut off and make sure that you're taking care of the sound of the end of the phrase before you go into things like rests or lifting your bow or whatever. And just in general, note lengths. I just want you to make decisions about, like, is that quarter note long? Should it have vibrato? Should it be really cut off? Because sometimes I feel like things are happening that you're not planning. Does that make sense? Okay? And then the final thing is, overall, I think also we can commit to sustaining those long, slurred lines as much as possible. They're hard. I know they're hard. So those long, forte, slurred lines that are so tricky to sustain, and we can try to talk about some strategies for doing that. Okay? Well, let's go to the beginning, and then just be ready to kind of start and stop. Okay? Do you guys have the measure numbers?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll just have to count a little bit from time to time, but that's cool. Okay? Go for it. And I really admire it. So that's awesome. Do you know what I mean by that? You have great eye contact, and it means that you play things really well together most of the time, which is really awesome. Congratulations. So for my taste, I love the way that you set up the piano at the beginning, and I don't think it should be softer, even though it is kind of tending towards not piano, but I think it's nice. So maybe lighter in the piano, maybe. Try it. And then I think when the violin comes in, because you even said you set it up in minor, and then it's more of kind of a major feel, right, when the violin's in. I just think you need to make sure that you sort of maintain the prominence and the balance, okay? So you guys be like aware of that. And I think if you can, I think it's a little bit of a vibrato thing, and I think it's a little bit of a staying into the string thing and balancing that out with bow speed. Just a little warmer, a little more present in first violin, I think that would be really beautiful. Can you try it again from the beginning? Can you make the forte just a little more special when you come in? Okay, just a little more warmth. If we came in where she comes in, where the violin comes in, would you know what to do about that?
17.
Okay, sweet. what you mean by your quarter notes. I know that's kind of a like vague thing to say, but are they staccato? Are they legato? Are they somewhere in between? Do you not know?
You were characterizing it legato, and then when we get to the bum 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 ba, and it's like building attention, we kind of
Like
cheated on articulation.
separate a little bit?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I just think, yeah, in general, like I just hear two different sounds from you guys, and I think you need to just plan it, okay? Maybe, and that may not happen right this second, but just something to think about, because it seems like these notes have less purpose than when you came in so beautifully on sforzando a little while ago, and the soaring melodies at the beginning. Does that make sense? You really do a nice job of coming in at measure 47 off of the piano. That's great, guys. Where is a good place to start before this? How about A? Is A okay? But I thought you had much more like sense of purpose on those quarter notes than the first time, which is awesome. For you, what's your name?
Sarah.
Sarah. You need to be careful off of the tied notes that you are in an appropriate part of the bow to bounce. I think you're trying to bounce the eighth notes. So I'm looking at places like measure 67 and a 68. I think you come off of your ties a little late. Okay, so I think that means probably you're going to want to use a little bit less than the dotted half, which is not easy, I understand, so that you're in a good place to just kick it, or you could put in a little lift, which I don't think is as appropriate here. Does that make sense? Okay, so that's just something to prepare for. How about the pickup to B, which is like the jam? It's like a really great spot, right? To maybe stay a little closer to the string. I like the chunkiness. I like the sound you're getting. It's just too slow. Da, 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 da. Let it lead in, okay? Characterize that for me. Is it the same energy as the beginning? Is it different? What way?
Yeah, it's more serene.
More serene, I agree.
Sweeter.
Yeah, definitely. So less harsh than some of those things that you were just playing. So I think that that translates a little bit more to maybe slightly smoother bow changes. I think if you can keep that vibrato more continuous. So think, even though you have to bow 2 measures, think longer lines, right? It really goes to there, right?
Yeah.
Even though you have to change bows, or it looks like you do anyway in this part. Yeah. Okay. You want to go right on C, guys?
Yeah.
Characterize that just a little bit more for us out here, okay? don't think you've thought a lot about what it's supposed to sound like when you cut off, right? You're out on 2, you're out on 3, you both cut out at the same time. That's weird, right? Maybe your parts are wrong, who knows, okay? But just have a conversation about it, because it takes it from being a really hard piece that 3 awesome high school students are playing to being something very professional and very special, right? When you take care of all of those beginnings and endings, right? How are we doing? Oh, it's just about time. How about, can we just do that second theme one more time because it's so pretty? Like at C. You know, those where you just have to be like, is this crunchy? Is this, do I want it to be smooth? All that kind of thing. Just make it really, just take care of every single thing. Do you guys play it again, ever? Is this it? You should take it on the road somewhere, because it's really, really pretty, and you guys are doing wonderful work with it. So, congratulations.